Like
best,
every 2 days, 3 days we could turn it.
you could turn it, the more regular the better. I would suggest, if you have the time, that's good, but at least you shouldn't go over 2 weeks. And if in 1 week, you could say if you could do it in 1 week time.
At least once a week.
At least once a week. But at the beginning of the composting process, you leave it for about 3 weeks. Like when you lay down your stuff now,
The first one.
the first one, you leave it for about 3 weeks. And then you do your first till. It will be easier by that time things start happening, things start breaking down and so on. And then you do your testing. So every time when you uncover, you test to make sure sufficient moisture. And the reason why you want to cover it too is because you want the temperature to come up to about 135 degrees kind of thing. If it comes too high, it will destroy the bacteria and so on. You know, the very agents that you want. And when doing your first heap, if you really have a large amount of compost coming, or when you're doing your second heap, you take some of the compost and put it into your heap that you're now beginning. What you're doing is introducing some of the bacteria and so, you know, into the heap.
Right, you're gonna.
So, Chief, how much more bags we need to place on this?
And this one,
Yeah.
how much you had put in before?
10.
Well, I don't think you need to put more in.
So we just need to leave it at this stage.
Fresh one.
So,
You turn it up already?
yeah, we now turn it up. But we don't put nothing on the fresh one now.
Manual?
You could put it now?
Yeah.
Well, alright.
Okay.
Right, we could do that. We could put the rest, the manual we have there, we could put it on this one. Right, and when we cut eventually.
You could do composting without covering it, but what will happen there? What do you think will happen?
It will take very long because
Take forever.
yeah,
Conditions will be fluctuating all the while. So you wouldn't always have optimum condition for your composting. Sometimes too much rain, sometimes
So if we
too
do it
much
under
sun.
a shed,
Could test that too. But the thing about it is you want your temperature to come up. So by covering it with the plastic, you find that the temperature will come up. It would happen, but what you're trying to do is to create the best conditions for composting. You want to have control. You don't want them kinds of fluctuations to be taking place where you're not control over the temperature, you're not control over the water, and them kinds of things. The composting will take place, but it will take too long. It just will take too long.
more grass.
so we need to keep this one as dry as possible.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to test it because the moisture content is important. If it's too dry, it wouldn't happen.
Oh,
It had to be about the testing, you have to hold it and squeeze it. And if it's just about dripping, like a squeeze sponge, you know that's right. If it's too wet, you leave it open during a dry period, so that it will dry out somewhat. Once you could squeeze it and you just see it dripping.
It has the moisture right now.
Yeah, we're going to squeeze it to see if we get some anything dripping, which we are. Feeling it, waiting for out, right?
Yeah.
Just about dripping up.
Just about dripping.
Nice.
Right. Yeah, you know that is good. If it's too wet, you leave it uncovered.
not the rain.
Yeah. Just to get some sunlight.
Just to dry back a little.
And when it dries, you know, test again. And then once you test and you're getting that, you know, that kind of rule of thumb kind of thing, you know that you cover it back. And keep that moisture content. If it's too wet, it will never come. Because the bacteria and so that's responsible for the breakdown don't like wet, totally wet condition, but it would not operate if it's too dry.
Not necessary, because the idea is for you to utilize things on farm than to be too dependent on going and buying things in unnecessary.
We actually creating even bacteria.
Yeah, by composting. So you could take some and incorporate it into your second thing. So once you put on a heap, once you have enough material in that heap, don't add. Unless the heap has a problem. If your heap looking like it didn't have sufficient manure, so then you could add. Or if it didn't have sufficient other material, then you could add.
So right now on this heap, we do have a problem.
No, it doesn't look so.
We functioning properly right now. So we can add peelings and whatever.
Yeah, anything you could add once it's biodegradable, once it could break down, once it's organic material, anything you could add to your compost. Anything, even bones and then kind of thing. And yeah, your wood chipping machine too, wood chips too. So you chip it up and anything that could biodegrade could go into a compost heap. It's not a problem. The thing about putting down the heap though, is always good to put it down in layers. You know, you put a layer of grass or that. So you have to add the materials, they're ready when you're ready to put down your heap. A layer of grass, a layer of manure, a layer of wood chip, layer of grass, layer of manure, layer of wood chip. Put it down in layers so that it has more kind of interface for interaction. More than you have all the manure below and that. And so that it would you know,
when you start to turn up to everything
could turn more easy.
Motherland